All right, guys, here we go again. We're up against Aston Villa today, and Villa actually are doing fairly well. I think if I saw right, they're in sixth place. Is that right? I'm not sure if he's going to tell us here in a second. And we'll see what we can do. Pele, of course, is out. So we'll see what we can do without him. Let's take a look. Yeah, no, they're in third place, actually. So they are up near the top. We are technically in 10th place. This is in Premier League B, so I suppose that's in the division of the Premier League that we are in. We need to do something to get things turned around a little bit, and we've had a really, really rough division here at the very start. So assuming that I understand how the schedule works correctly, Manzelgo over to Trésor. Trésor with it. He's a new signing, actually, if I remember right. Over to Pogba, back to De Vici. So we finally have our requisite 24, 2 men at each position. It took a little while for us to get that far, and I don't think we're going to get many more. The reason why is because we don't have any money left, and I'm not quite sure what we can do to get more of that. And the club, if we don't win a lot, the club's going to end up going bankrupt. So that's the big problem that we have. Here's Eriksen after Fernandes is taken down, no call. Sancho with it, and Sancho over to Mason Mount, and Mason Mount will make you wonder why you even care about Pele. As he scores the goal right here to lead this off. It's 1-0 for Manchester United, and that didn't take very long at all. So Fernandes was taken down. Surprised that Douglas Luiz wasn't carded for that. That looked pretty blatant. Sancho brings it up there again on that right side, and it's centered perfectly for Mount, who is in the right place at the right time, doing his best Pele impression, and makes it 1-0 for Manchester United. Now here's Eriksen with the free kick. Lumps it forward, and it doesn't really get to anybody. It was Mount who came in there and almost got a second goal. He almost stole that one away. We're only about 2 minutes into this match, and we almost had a 2-0 lead, where we really, really could have used that one going in. It's a little bit hard for me sometimes to adjust from going through the Mars FC all the way back to this, where every match is so important. Rashford with the shot, and that's stopped again by their keeper. It's a lot different, I'll tell you what, here than it was in Mars FC. This is a much, much tougher environment. Every single one of these matches is rough. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Passes it. Now there it is over to Sancho, and I think that was again Mason Mount who was standing right up there, was waiting for the ball to come. The keeper falls on it. We've had 5 minutes of nothing but action here, and this is looking pretty good for us if we can keep this up. I don't know if we can keep it up or not, though, so we'll see what happens. We've had some good matches, and then we've had a little bit of slippage, and this looks like we may be slipping here. Fortunately for us, Duran his shot is over the head of the keeper, and so it ends up bothering nobody. We'll see what happens here. We do have a good, strong squad, as I've said. I worry a little bit about us not having quite enough players, but we'll see what happens. We do the best we can with what we're given. Eriksen with a good tackle gets the ball away and then lumps this over to nobody in particular, which was a really poor play. And so now we have to come back and win it again, and we do win it, and it's Mount with it, and then he gives up possession all too quickly. Didn't really have much control over that one, and now we have to get this back on. It's Monseglio who wins it over to Sancho, to Fernandes, over to Rashford, back to Sancho, and Sancho was not in the right position for that. And so we watch a little bit helplessly as they pass the ball around nicely and try to get this ball off of them. It is Sancho who gets it over to Pogba. Pogba down to Mount. Mount forward to Rashford, who's beating the defense, and he scores. I think he's onside. No, they're going to call him offside. They're going to call him offside. You can see that whistle. They're going to look at VAR at least. And nope, they've called it off, so it's disallowed. And I thought maybe he was onside, but no, if you look at this right here, he's off. He's off. It was poor timing. If Rashford waits maybe another second, he can get there, but if he waits another second, he's probably not open. De Vici over to Pogba. Back to Monseglio, over to Rashford, back to Monseglio, over to De Vici now. De Vici with it, back to Monseglio. We're going to go center of the pitch to Rashford. And in and out, and we're looking for Mount, and he doesn't break, and that means that we're in a little bit of a tight spot here as they are rushing up against us, and it's Trésor who makes that stop over to Sancho, who will take this up himself. Running, about to run out of steam, passes to Fernandes, it's over to Rashford, and he takes a blast of a shot, and that one unfortunately is saved. So much for that, and we go back and sort of see what we can figure out. About 15 minutes or so into this match, and I don't think that we're playing too poorly. We've already had about 5 minutes of video here, imagine that. De Vici will end up winning this in the back over to Trésor after that corner. Giggs now. Giggs, of course, still learning how to do stuff on that right side in the place I'm trying to play him. We hope that he's good enough to learn the position. Pogba now over to Fernandes, to Trésor, and up to Sancho. Sancho back to Eriksen, over to Pogba, over to Mount. Mount with it, and he's just going to blast a shot. You knew he was going to do that, and that's not really what we want him to do. We don't want him to take these low percentage shots from so far out. So, we'll see if we can get this ball back in a good position, and looks like we might be able to. Pogba with it now. Back to Monzeglio. Monzeglio passes up to Tresor, right side, over to Sancho. And so let's see if we can bring this down a little bit. Sancho runs, and there's the cross, and it is spoiled by Digne for Aston Villa, and ends up being with their keeper. But it was a good idea, and Giggs wins this off, and it's a poor pass from Giggs. That's the unfortunate thing about that. He does a good job winning the ball, and then his pass forward is not particularly good. Eriksen now with it over to Mount, and that's a beautiful pass for Eriksen. A little bit of give and go, and that is deflected out for a corner. The corner apparently is turned into another corner, as we didn't see that first one. So whatever happened wasn't that interesting. Eriksen now with the second corner, lumps it forward, and it's headed back over. Mount has it over to Eriksen once again. Eriksen patient. Tries to move that in, and it's knocked out again for another corner. So we have definitely had the momentum here so far in the match. And let's see what we can do. Eriksen knocks this forward, looking for Davici, can't find him. And here's Giggs. Man, Giggs was wide open, and you kind of wish he would have brought the ball a little bit closer in instead of trying to just get it to an angle, almost like he's not thinking about what he's doing. So Giggs still, I can't remember if he's 18, 19, however old he is in the game. We're still trying to get him a little bit used to what he's supposed to be doing. And I mean, he's trying to learn a new position as well. I would have expected a little bit more from such a legendary player. And this is back behind our defense. And Yashin somehow is able to jump up and grab that one as he was lobbed by the offensive player. So good job by Lev Yashin preventing that one from going in. But that was definitely the sort of defense that will give you a heart attack. And let's see if we can get this ball off of them again as they are coming forward again. And boy, that was a very desperate goal line save by, I think it was Traore who got that. I mean, you go back and look at this again. So they get the ball in there. Sorry, Traore's offensive player. It's Tresor who knocks that one off. Not quite a goal line save, but as good as a goal line save. Lev Yashin still oozing with professionalism there in the back, which is good. I just hope he makes saves this time around. He had a hard time with that the last two matches, that both of which we lost. Pogba wins that one off and turns it into a shot from a little bit too far out, I think, for him. And so now we're in the 40th minute, and we're almost 10 minutes into this match. How about that? Give you a lot of football to watch today. Sancho wins this in the back, over to Pogba, back to Rashford. Over to Monzeglio, to Rashford, back to Monzeglio. So we'll slow it down a little bit, be a little calm. Tresor up to Eriksen. Eriksen over to Fernandes, to Sancho. Sancho's going to cross, as you can tell, and a cross comes in. It's over to Eriksen. It's kind of a bad angle for him, and that was, once again, a wasted opportunity. And now they have an opportunity to equalize with this corner, and I have a bad feeling about this one, and that one is headed by Pau, and that is just to the side of the net. I think we were very fortunate that one didn't go in. So at halftime, 1-0 for Manchester United, and we don't want to see any complacency, that's for sure. What we really want to do, though, is we want to see a winner. Tresor is looking tired. I think we're going to come on with Lisandro Martinez. And the other one I'm looking at here is, I guess Giggs is not that tired. It's Fernandes who looks like he's a little tired. Question is, do we go with Charlton? Do we go with Dennis Law? I think we will go with Dennis Law. Law has not played for us yet, so he's a striker that we're asking to play in this new shadow striker position. Another legendary Manchester United player. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's able to give us something or not. Sancho knocked that one out for a throw, and we're going to have to wait a couple minutes and see if something happens. We have Law is struggling to meet the pace of the match, and it would be probably embarrassing for him if I took him out again right after putting him in. Pogba over to Rashford. And Eriksen lumps this forward for Pogba. He's got it over to Mount. Mount with it over to Davici. Davici lumps it over looking for Sancho. And boy, that was a dangerous back pass. That's almost an own goal. That was close to an own goal, and that would have been very, very nice for us. We could use that second goal. It's headed back and forth, a little bit of pinball. Eriksen has it over to Sancho, up to Pogba. Pogba lumps it forward looking for Mount, and Mount wasn't even moving. And that was a really, really poorly timed pass there by Paul Pogba, and Traore has scored, and that makes it 1-1. They're going to say he's offside. They're going to take a look. I think he was onside. This time around, I think it was pretty obvious that it was onside, and it is awarded. Yeah, I thought that was clearly good right from the start. So we take a look here. I had it brought up, and yeah, I mean, he's onside. There's no question about that. It's just that counterattack that keeps hurting us so badly. Again, I've got to put the blame of this one on Pogba with that poor pass and not really communicating well. But yeah, you can see he's clearly onside. There's no question about it. It's not even really that close. So we'll see what we can do, see if we can actually get the ball in the right direction here. Martinez with it now in the back, over to Law to Rashford. And here is Rashford with a good chance, and he scores. So Marcus Rashford scores about 10 seconds after we give up a goal. It's 2-1, and don't you dare leave this match early, I'll tell you that. 2-1 now, Manchester United, and that was absolutely incredible. I guess it was about... well, let's see. It started at, 45 seconds, and here he is going forward, and yes, in 55th second, he scores. So it took 10 seconds for Rashford to go up the field and score. And he's not even one of the legendary ones. How about that? 2-1 for Manchester United, and we're doing okay. We're holding on. There's a free kick and a shot, and we're able to get that off the wall, and Eriksen's able to play it, and that's the end of that highlight. Here's De Vici to Giggs, back to De Vici, over to Monseglio. Funny thing is, I thought the Villa would be a pretty easy match. Boy, was I mistaken. Back to Lev Yashin, over to De Vici again. De Vici to Pogba to Mount. Mount up to Giggs, beautiful. Giggs going over, and that was... there was a chance that we could have won that. I think at the end of that one, it just didn't happen. Pogba out to Law up to Mount. This is a little bit more like it. Mount scores. You're not going to stop him, man. Look at the head of steam. Mason Mount is saying, we hope that Pele remains injured because I'm going to take over for him, and he's looked awesome in this match. I mean, that was just absolutely incredible. So this is the way that this tactic is really supposed to work. Everybody touches the ball. Mount gets it there. He beats his man, and I mean, there's just no way you're going to stop him. Absolutely no way you're going to stop him. Totally unstoppable. I wish that Mars FC could play like that, man. If we could play like that in Mars FC, we'd win the AFC Champions League. That would be really interesting if we could do that from Taiwan. And so now that we move up to fourth position, if we can keep this margin of victory, and I'm not sure if we can because they are attacking once again. And fortunately, Bailey's header is up and over the goal. So let's see if we can add on to this lead a little bit and move ourselves forward. Lev Yashin not exactly having the best match of his life, and he's going to remain our number one keeper pretty much no matter what happens. I like the professionalism. I know that he's young, right? And we want to try to encourage him as much as we can. Martinez with a clearance that was kind of ridiculous clearance, but there was no goal at the end, so it's okay. And this header is also offline. So we've got about, 25 minutes left in this match to hold on. And we really do need to hold on with all of our might. We're about 10 minutes left now, and not much is happening. Lev Yashin's still having not exactly the best match he's ever had. Law over to Eriksen, back to Law. Forward to Rashford, and he's in a crowd, and I mean, he did the best he could with that, but that didn't work so well for him, I think. So we still have a couple of minutes left, and let's see what we can do. Yashin is playing worse and worse. I'm not sure why, but there's something he's doing that the game doesn't like, so whatever. It's trying to tell me not to start him, I think, is what's going on. But we're going to continue to start him. Martinez gets in the way of that shot, so that was a very, very good block by him. And we only have a couple of minutes left. Law heads it over to Rashford. Rashford back, and tell you this Law kid's pretty good, huh? Law, and he takes that shot. That wasn't a very good shot, but he's getting himself into good position. He's got a lot of good speed and some good abilities, and we'll see what happens here. Very, very final closing minutes of this one, and they're going to run out of time. We are going to win this match at the very least. The question is whether it will still be 3-1 or not, and it looks like it will. We'll see what that means for the standings, but I do think we've moved up. 15 shots, 7 on target for us, 2.48 XG, which is good. We did win the possession battle this time around. That looked much better than we did last time, and I think that there's still hope for this team. Talk to you later. Bye.